Hello people, I'm the comic book gamer, and today I'm going to be going around Gotham and talking about Judas Contract, which is probably Deathstroke's best storyline he's ever been in. It's an amazing storyline, and it was his first big storyline. And so yeah, in order to know about Judas Contract though, we're going to have to start from the beginning with Deathstroke. And yeah, this used to be the bread and butter of my channel, was where I'd go around Arkham Origins using the Deathstroke free roam mod and talk about Deathstroke. And so I'm doing that again because it's so much fun, and I figured, you know, why not? Let's do it. So yeah, in the beginning when Deathstroke first appeared, he was just this master assassin that pretty much came out of nowhere, and his son, Grant Wilson, was dating someone who was friends with the Teen Titans. Well, they broke up. She wanted nothing to do with Grant, but Grant was not over. He still wanted to be with her, and he wasn't doing things the right way. And so the Teen Titans were like, hey, Grant, go away. They kind of roughed him up a bit, because he was like, well, it was an instance to where Grant and Carol, who was the name of the girl that he was dating, they were in their apartment, and he was like, why don't you move back in with me? And she said no, and he grabbed her. She's like, you're hurting me. And then one girl came in and just threw him into a wall, pretty much. And so after that, he's like, okay, you know what, I'm sick of being tossed around by your friends. I have friends of my own. I'm gonna go out and do some stuff. Now, prior to all this happening though, Deathstroke had met up with the Hive. The Hive wanted to hire Deathstroke to take out the Teen Titans. They were just like, hey, you know, we need you to take out Teen Titans because we don't like them, and they interfere with our plans. And at the same time as well, we have this plan that involves their powers and stuff. And so Deathstroke's like, okay, I'll do it, but you know, this is on my terms, and I get paid in advance. They're like, nope, you're gonna get paid once the job's done. He said, nope, I ain't doing that. And so they went after Grant. Grant went and when Deathstroke had met up with the Hive though, they had scanners there that told him about what. Sorry, I'm playing and talking at the same time. Anyways, when Deathstroke had met with the Hive, they had scanners that were able to like scan Deathstroke and replicate his powers. So when Grant came to them, they're like, hey, we can give you powers the same as Deathstroke's Terminator, except even better. His brain capacity is up to 90%. We can get yours to 100. I know it's a myth, the whole you only use 10% of your, you only use 10% of your brain. That thing was like proven as a myth. But then there are other people that say, well, the thing is, you use 100% of your brain, but you only use like 10% of it at a time. It's all this different science stuff anyways, and we're just going off what it says in DC Universe, and it's clear that Deathstroke is enhanced in more ways than just physical. So yeah, anyways, it was enhanced to where Grant Wilson could use 100% of his brain all the time, so he was incredibly, you know, smart and everything. And so they gave him this power, but he went and fought the Teen Titans after that. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take out the Teen Titans. And so when he went to do that, he got his butt kicked, and Deathstroke showed up because, well, it was his son. He's like, what are you doing? He got his butt kicked. Deathstroke went and saved Grant and told him that he can't do that because the power that he's using is just using like 100% of his brain. It's not the actual Deathstroke serum that he uses. Well, that was put in the Deathstroke originally. It's feeding off his body's energy. So the more he uses it, the closer he's getting to dying. If he keeps using it, it will kill him. But Grant was like, nope, I'm going to take out the Teen Titans. And so when he went back to fight the Teen Titans, Deathstroke went with him, and they were kicking the crap out of the Teen Titans, just destroying them. Now, this all takes place in New Teen Titans issue 2, by the way. I don't remember if I said that. But anyways, they're all fighting. Take out these guys. But yeah, they're all fighting, and then Raven shows up and is just like, Deathstroke, your son's dying. And that's how the fight ends, because she's just like, let this end, your son's dying. Even though Deathstroke and Grant were winning, Grant started dying, he fell on the floor, and Deathstroke takes his son, and he's like, you know, this is your Titan's fault. You drove my son to do this. And so Deathstroke approached the Hive and said, I'll complete my son's contract. Because, you know, his son had taken it up. He's like, that's the least I can do. I was a terrible father for Grant. I didn't know him too well. I didn't do a whole lot with him. So this is the least I can do, is complete the contract that he took up. Also, the reason Grant did this, not just because he wanted to get revenge against the Teen Titans, but also was because his father had told him stories about... Slade Wilson had told him stories about Deathstroke, because this was when not everyone knew Slade Wilson and Deathstroke were one and the same. He actually had somewhat of a secret identity. And so during this, well, when Grant was little, he would get told stories all the time from Slade Wilson about Deathstroke. Now, he was this great assassin. Yeah, Father of the Year, telling your son stories about a master assassin. But anyways, that's what made him really want to be like Deathstroke. And so that's another thing that Deathstroke blames himself for. He blames the Titans, but in reality blames himself for his bad parenting and the fact that he drove his son to be like that because he told him stories about Deathstroke the Terminator, and so his son was like, oh man, this Deathstroke guy is cool, my dad talks about him all the time, I want to be just like him. And that's how Grant died, and that's what sent Deathstroke on the course for taking out the Teen Titans. Even though, you know, he didn't want the contract before, now he's doing it because of his son. And the Hive had this planned pretty much all along. When Deathstroke said no to their contract, they're like, well, how can we get him? Oh, we'll go through his son, and that's how all that happened. But anyways, now we move on to Judas Contract, which is Deathstroke's first storyline. I hate this stupid, like, freezing mode. I hate it how it does this in the glide. Anyway, I don't know how I ended up on top of that car. Or over there. I'm moving at, like, super speed right now. Anyways, what I was saying, in Judas Contract, there's this girl named Tara, who, if you guys have watched the Teen Titans show, you know who she is. She is, I think she was 16 years old during the storyline. I don't remember. She says it during the storyline, but she was, I think, the youngest member of the Titans. Her and Garth, her and Beast Boy were like the youngest members of the Titans. I think she's the youngest. But anyway, when she was in the Teen Titans, Deathstroke had recruited her to take down the Titans because she just hated the Titans. She did not like how they were or anything. She thought they were obnoxious, and she was just plain crazy insane. Like, she was nuts. So Deathstroke recruited her to help him take out the Titans so he could have a person on the inside, and that would make his job a lot easier. So during all this going on, you know, just the Titans doing their day-to-day stuff. For instance, there's this thing that happens with Brother Blood that goes on prior to Deathstroke's whole plan going down. But anyways, she helps them. She gains their trust. They make her like an honorary member of the Teen Titans and everything. Everyone trusts her. See her as a friend. Beast Boy is in love with her, just head over heels. And so, needless to say, Deathstroke's plan worked in that aspect because everyone trusts Tara. So in the end, Deathstroke is able to take them all out one by one, except with the help of Tara a bit. But he's able to take them all out one by one with the help of Tara, and I can't speak English right now, except for it was Dick Grayson. Sorry, again, playing talking at the same time, not the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, it was Tara who helped him, and I'm just repeating myself. Sorry, guys. Just fighting a lot of guys right now. What I meant to say was Dick Grayson and Joseph Wilson, aka Jericho, were the only two that were not captured originally. They had everyone else, and the reason they captured them for Hive was because Hive wanted to use them for Operation Waterworks, to where Operation Waterworks was this plan to where they were going to use the superheroes' powers for their own, for the Operation Waterworks, this weird thing. Anyways, so they had them all hooked up, and Nightwing and Jericho were like, okay, we're gonna go and save them. Well, Tara knew they were there because when they broke out, they're like, okay, we're gonna save them. Tara beat the crap out of them, and because she's really powerful. Also, if you don't know who Tara is, she has pretty much the powers of an Earthbender. If you watch Last Airbender, if you don't watch Last Airbender, I think you still know what an Earthbender is. She can throw rocks, so she's really powerful. And Deathstroke always talked about how she was one of the most powerful Titans, if not the most powerful Titan. And she was very unruly and insane, so Deathstroke was always talking about watching out for her because she could turn on a dime. She was just completely nuts. So anyways, when Deathstroke captured those two, because prior to that, Deathstroke had tried to take out Nightwing. He beat the living crap out of Nightwing, but Nightwing was able to escape and loot him. And Deathstroke had no idea about Jericho, because Jericho was not like a full-on member of the Titans that everyone knew about yet. Yeah. Like, only Nightwing knew about him. Because what happened was, when everyone got captured except for Nightwing, Slade Wilson's life, I can't speak English again. Slade Wilson's ex-wife, Adeline Kane, came after him, after Nightwing, and said, I'm going to help you take down my husband because he's a complete piece of crap, and she hates him. And, you know, he's responsible for stuff that happened to Joseph Wilson, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but I'll talk about some other time. Anyways, so she went after Nightwing and said, I'm going to help you, except this was at the time when he was Robin, and Robin became Nightwing during the Judas Contract storyline, because he figured, hey, it's time for me to change. I'm grown up. I'm away from Batman. I need to have my own identity. So he combined all the things that, like, he thought of, like, all the people that have helped him. Superman was a big inspiration for that, purely because of the fact that, because Nightwing is a Kryptonian bird, so he chose that because of the fact that Superman had inspired him, and the costume and stuff was an homage to the fact that he was a Robin and everything. And so he chose Nightwing during that time. But anyways, Adeline Kane told Dick Grayson, the origin story of Slade Wilson and everything, and how he got to where he is now. And she also told him what happened to Joseph, but I'll talk about that at another time. Yeah, so he's like, okay, I'll trust you two, since, you know, I don't really have much else to go on. He trusts them. They go try to save the rest of the Teen Titans. Like I was saying, they get the crap beaten out of them by Tara and get captured. And when they're captured, Slade sees Joseph Wilson, and he's like, why is my son here? What's going on? I don't like this. He talks to Hive, and he says, this was never in the contract. Joseph was never in there. Release the boy to me. They say, nope, consider him Tara's kill. It doesn't matter. Tara's the one who captured him, so yeah, we're not releasing him to you. And so he gets all pissed, and he realizes that he just goes up, and he looks straight in Joseph's eyes. If you look in Jericho's eyes, his power is to possess you. If you look into his eyes, he can control your body for a limited amount of time. And so during all this, he controls Deathstroke, breaks everyone out of their cages, well, not cages, but what they're being held in, and that's how he frees the Teen Titans. And you know how, like, they had narration during the older comics? There was a lot more narration. Well, it's saying that Deathstroke is not fighting back at all against Joseph taking control of him because he wanted to save his son. So he's just acting like he's like, oh no, I'm under control. He is being controlled by Joseph, but he just doesn't care. He could fight it off, but instead he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I need to save my son. So this way I have an excuse and everything. He can still keep his reputation. So Joseph breaks everyone out using Deathstroke's body. And then Tara starts going insane, like, just nuts. And, like, just all these rocks and everything start flying everywhere. And the Teen Titans, well, Jericho's just, like, taking control of Slade still. And Slade says, let go of me, Jericho. You know, I'm the only one that can stop Tara. So, he does. But then the other Teen Titans are like, no, we need to stop Deathstroke. So they start fighting Deathstroke. Deathstroke beating the Teen Titans like it's no one's business because they don't stand a chance. And then Jericho takes control of Deathstroke. And he causes a rock to hit, well, he doesn't, but Tara causes a rock to hit Deathstroke, and Jericho takes control of Deathstroke to make him hold still so he doesn't dodge the rock, because he could have easily dodged it. And so that knocks Deathstroke out, and Tara goes so crazy, she, like, pretty much causes this huge rock hurricane tornado thing that just, like, kills her. She just straight up dies there because of how crazy she went, and that's the end of Judas Contract. So yeah, that's pretty insane. Oh, what was that move? Sorry for my lack of English throughout, though. I do want to get back into this. This was pretty much the bread and butter of my channel, like I was saying earlier, and I have a lot of fun just going around Gotham, beating up thugs as Deathstroke, and talking about some of these storylines. It's really cool, and I accidentally called the Batmobile over here. But anyways, I'm going to be covering more Deathstroke storylines, because I have talked a lot about Deathstroke in the past, but there's still some stuff that I have not talked about, and yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. And I plan on doing this for probably other characters as well, such as Red Hood, Nightwing, stuff like that, and maybe even some Batman stuff, I don't know. I just want to cover, like, some other people that, like, other YouTubers aren't covering. Like, for instance, Deathstroke. Hardly anyone talks about Deathstroke, nevertheless, on a regular basis like I used to. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun making it, and as always, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like.